Hello, hello. Right now we are live. Give a minute or two for people to straggle in. Hello, hello. Hello, Stacy Clater. Good to see you. When you jump on in, announce yourself. Love to see that you're here. Kim Simpson Byers. Kim, good to see you again. And everybody else, come on in. Welcome to the New Moon Activation. It's kind of a special thing. We do it once a month, but it is a big occasion because it really calls on the universe to create on our behalf. I'm happy to be here and happy to be sending out my intentions and manifestations along with all of you, but I definitely want to get to it. What I do, hey Candy, good morning, or good evening, whatever. Kim, good to see you. Nancy, good to see you as well. One thing I do want to let you know, I'm kind of fighting off a low-grade flu right now. I'm hacking a little bit, so if I cough or whatever, if I'm a little flaky, not as perky as I typically am, just understand it has nothing to do with the present company. I'm just trying to keep it together and kind of push my way through this. Today, we're going to talk about manifestation. We're going to talk about moon cycles. We're going to pull some tarot cards, and we're going to pull some oracle cards, too, to give us a little bit of advice. We're going to talk about effective ways of manifesting things. And we're going to talk about, our way through meditation together to help us kind of elevate all of our manifestations up to the moon so she can then turn around and send them out into the universe to begin the process of creation on our behalf. Today we are using the typical Rider-Waite tarot cards, but I also had a request from a good friend, Shannon Rourke, who I see just jumped on, to also use Moonology cards as well. I'm not a big fan of Oracle cards, but I am a big fan of these cards. If you're not familiar with Moonology, Yasmin Boland, who's a great creator, a few years ago created a book called Moonology. It's about moon cycles and astrology and how to manifest and how to shed things that aren't working for you during full moons. And it was such a runaway hit that they created a companion deck along with it. I find it to be very informative when we do these things. I also have a few people asking whether or not Marianne's going to be here tonight. Obviously, she is not here with us tonight. Marianne is going to join us again on the 31st for our next big full moon. Full moons are a little more to wrangle. It's a bit more of a dynamic type of presentation. We're actually burning things, and it's just good to have Marianne there when I'm burning stuff. I just like to have her around, and it comforts me, keeps me on track. But let's talk about the moon. The new moon is really the hallmark of creative power when it comes to moon cycles. And I really look at moon cycles as the breath cycle of spiritual life on our planet. Okay? New moons are about creation. Full moons are kind of about destruction and rearrangement. Okay? So when we have a full moon, we burn a black candle and we burn everything that we want out of our life and send it up to the moon to get delegated away. When we have a new moon, we write down our manifestations. The physical act of taking our thoughts and putting them down on a piece of paper kind of thrusts them out of our mind and into reality and starts that process of creation. Okay, and this is a particularly creative new moon. This is the new moon in Leo. If you know Leo is an astrology sign, you know that Leos are very personally creative people. So it's kind of like a double whammy. These manifestations sure to have a bit of supercharge on them when we put them together and send them off. Okay. When I think about how we pull all of this together, manifestation is really about keeping our minds open. If we start to get too specific with stuff, the universe sort of becomes an order taker, and you may not get the result from what you think you want. So if you say, hey, I would really love if Kim fell in love with me, you may not know Kim well enough to actually declare that. She may turn out to be a terrible human being, but if you put a caveat at the end of it and say, I would really love to attract Kim or somebody better for me, then you're opening up the universe to sort of rearrange stuff and bring something in for your higher good. You know, instead of saying, I want to drive a Tesla Model Y, say, I'd like to drive a Tesla Model Y or something even better for me. Maybe that Model Y is not going to really turn you on. Go to something completely different. Okay, so when we're doing manifestation, we do want to open ourselves up to an endless possibility. If you don't have something specific that you want, the best thing that you can do is to just turn it over and say, I want to manifest the best life for my highest purpose, and allow the universe to bring that back to you. Okay? Now again, we are letting the universe create on our behalf, and we are focusing on our passion. What I did want to do is I wanted to take a few tarot cards and see if we can get a little bit of advice on what we need to focus on. Everybody here is generating energy in this particular get-together, and I want to make sure that we're kind of steering everything in the right direction for maximum impact. So let's go ahead and get into some tarot here. Tarot cards show us what we need to do to create manifestations that are going to work the best for everybody here. 6 shuffles is what they're telling me. 1, 2, and if you have manifestations in mind, start to jot them out. Okay? 3. Okay, good. 4, 5, and the last one, 6. Are we good? We're good. Cut or no cut? Cut. There's the cut. Top or bottom? Bottom. And this is something that we all need to remember too. We don't have to cram it all in this one session. Right now, this is about creation and manifestation. In a few more weeks, on the 31st, we're going to have another full moon where we can actually shed things. So when you are putting things out there, put out positive things that are going to be bringing the best things back to you. Don't put out manifestations that lift you up while pushing somebody or something else down, okay? Try to keep it as uplifting and inspirational as possible, okay? You'll get your chance to shed things in a few weeks. I want 2 more cards as well. Okay. Also remember that when we manifest stuff, the universe likes us to have a hand in it. So when we go ahead and we put our manifestations out there, we're going to have to put in a little bit of work on the path. Now keep in mind, you may not know where you're going. You may not be able to see the path right now, but by supercharging that energy and sending it out there, you're going to reveal the path bit by bit as you walk forward. The work that you put in is exactly what you're going to get back out of it. Karma has a wonderful way of snapping that bowstring in your direction if you put yourself in the proper position to receive. And part of that has to do with mindset. And again, when you're thinking of abundant things, because inevitably when we do this type of thing, we want abundance. We want abundance of love. We want abundance of health. We want abundance of money, luxury. Try to envision your world in a way that kind of translates into the emotional feeling that you would have if you had everything that you've ever wanted. Don't even have to get specific about what it is. Just think about how you will feel and then send that off. Okay? Now, I talked to you about writing down your manifestations on a piece of paper as a means of thrusting them into reality. Don't just toss that piece of paper away after tonight. I want you to keep that. Either put it on your bathroom mirror or, put it in some place where you're going to see it regularly and interact with it. Okay? Don't tuck it in the bottom of a handbag or jam it down deep into your wallet. Actually, put it out so every day you look at it. And when you do look at it, I want you to kind of think of the meditation that we go through and send that intention back up there again as a means of reinforcing that. Okay? So again, keep things positive because again, in 2 weeks we're going to have a full moon where we'll be able to shed stuff. Nothing negative. Okay? Instead of, I wish this house would be built quicker, say, I wish to be in my brand new house. Instead of saying, I wish my kid wasn't so difficult to deal with, say, I wish to have a wonderful relationship with my child like we did back in the day. Okay? 2, you got to put the work in. You got to show up and make it happen. I know all of you are capable of doing that, but tarot and the universe do love action. They love when you meet them in the act of creation. And keep it abundant. Take that feeling of everything that you want, not the specifics of it, not the house and the car and the boat and all that other stuff, but the way you're going to feel inside when you have it, and latch onto that feeling and send that feeling up. Now, we're going to pull a few Moonology cards too, if you guys are okay with that. You okay with that? All right, very good. Okay, so how many times? 4 shuffles is what they're telling me. Okay, 1. Are you guys writing down your manifestations? I know you're thinking of them right now. Highest and best, highest and best. I know you can do it. 2, 3, 4, Fantastic. Okay, cut or no cut? Cut. There's the cut right there. Okay. And how many? 2 cards. Just 2 cards. Take them from the top. The first card is hold your vision. Okay. Very important. Like I was telling you, when you write out those manifestations, don't just tuck them away. Keep them in a place where you're going to see them and interact with them regularly. That's going to help reinforce them and put an extra little jolt into them as you send them back up over and over again. You don't want to dwell on them to the point where you're, kind of trapped in them and you're thinking about them all the time. Just when you come across that piece of paper, revisit that thought and send it off. And the next card is nothing is yet set in stone. Even if you're living a life right now that's incredibly difficult, even if you find yourself feeling a sense of dread about what may come, we all get into those loops where we start worrying about things that aren't even things yet. Always remember, nothing is set in stone. Again, think back 10 years ago. Did you envision that your life would be what it is today? Probably not. In 10 more years, who knows? Nothing is set in stone. You can create anything that you want. So there you go. Those are the cards. If you guys have any questions, throw them at me. But I am actually going to ask you all if I can kind of lead you in a very short meditation to kind of get you into the idea of sending these manifestations up, up, up. Okay? And then we're going to release these intentions to the moon and allow her to take these intentions and manifestations out to the universe so the universe can start creating on our behalf. Okay? So if you're following along with me, close your eyes and imagine that where you sit, that from the bottom of your feet sprout roots that drop down through the floor and down into the earth. And you want them to go down, down, down as deep into the earth as they go. And as they're going down and as they're kind of spreading out, I want you to understand that you are tapping into Mother Earth's energy. You're going to use this energy to send these manifestations up to the moon. So let those roots go deep, deep, deep. And then once they're as deep as you think they can go, bring the energy from the earth up the roots, up through your feet, up into your body, and then up through the top of your head. Out of the top of your head, I want you to send a cone of golden light straight up to the moon. You're opening up a conduit of conversation between you and the moon. It is a personal communication where you will be able to send all of what you want created off to her to get her working. By the light of the white candle, we welcome this new moon. We look deep within ourselves and reflect over the lives we have led and the lives that we wish to lead. In our sacred space, we embark upon new beginnings and listen to our eternal souls as to what it is that we truly desire. On this day, grant us the courage to pursue our dreams. Bless us with your harmony to ignite the pathway to our greatest successes. We wish for peace, happiness, and health to everyone around us, and for the abundance of love that surrounds us to be received by all. And now imagine the written intentions that you have struck down, moving up through that golden column all the way to the moon. You're releasing your wishes and your creations to her. Allow them to flow upward. Feel them bubbling up through you, through the earth, through your head, through the cone, all the way up to this dark new moon. And then release and come back to us. Go ahead and open up your eyes. Very good. And you've released everything that you have to create to the moon. And you can do your own private ceremonies tonight if you want to. Keep in mind, this is a very special new moon. It straddles 3 days. It started late yesterday. It is in its apex right now. Okay? And it's going to go through tomorrow morning. This is a wonderful time to send those intentions up. It is as new moon as it gets. Also, don't forget, that if you're looking to cleanse and charge crystals or tarot decks or anything else that you feel needs to be reset, it's always a great idea to go ahead and put those out in the path of the moon so she can bless those things and get them back to you supercharged. You can also go ahead and put out some water as well. If you have a jar of water, you can create a little bit of moon water. Moon water, if you mix it with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of rosemary, a little black pepper, and just a smidge of ground cinnamon, you shake it up in a spray bottle and you spray it, you can actually use that instead of smoking up your house with sage or Palo Santo. It's a great cleanser. If you really want to go full throttle on it, throw some amethyst chips in the bottom of that thing for a little extra protection, a little extra oomph, maybe a couple of quartz chips to kind of amp it all up. Wonderful, wonderful thing. So that is basically it. I was keeping it very short tonight. Again, I apologize. I'm a little, but I am looking forward to seeing you all again on the 31st for the full moon. I want to thank everybody, the crew at Karma this weekend, and everybody that came in for readings, and all these wonderful people that I met. I'm just so grateful to have you in my orbit and to meet you, and some folks that came back a second time or a third time. That is absolutely wonderful. I want to thank Denise, Jake, Amanda, Shirley, Katie, Nancy, Joyce, Grayson, Karin, who's just absolutely incredible, and the Varner Solenders, who are just incredible people as well, and Candy McCarty, I can see her right there. She's incredible. Thank you very much. Good luck with your manifestations. Remember to keep them out and keep revisiting them. Highest and best, purest of heart. Have a good night. Bushwhacker out.